Right. I don't know if you've tried to do this, but if you've thought of a good idea that you'd like to improve something, where do you go try and improve it? Who do you suggest it to? And if you don't actually want money for it, well, unless it's a good idea, and people like the idea and they sort of like use it, you don't want money before you say what the ideas are. And nobody's actually asked you. You're just volunteering. Hey, could you try this out? Because it would be quite a nice experience for me and maybe other people. And I call it social art because it's not really called for, and I'm following something that is not really, it's definitely not work. So I thought of an improvement for YouTube. I'm fairly certain they can't do it for legal reasons, but this is the idea. The idea is that whenever you have a video, beside it, you've got like a PayPal option or maybe a Tippet or something like that, an economy thing. So when you click the button, you give some money. 10p, 1p, if you liked it a little bit, 1p. If you liked it quite a lot, 10p. If you liked it a lot, pound. And so, yeah, people could sort of like generate a bit of money that way as well. Could be related to the stars, kind of like that. But you actually want a different vector, as it were. You want a different dimension. Maybe reputation. Right. But that's the idea, really. I'm sure people have come up with it. They obviously can't do it for legal reasons. But how do I go about trying to suggest this to YouTube? And so I went to YouTube. You have to go to the home page. And then you have to go to the bottom. It says contact us. That's what I thought. And then in that, you would have thought suggestions. No, they don't have an option. And they've got a thing called partners. Check it out, partners. And you check it out. There's 4 conditions. All right. And it's your stuff, your own stuff, how you intend to use it kind of thing. And the most important one is, do you have thousands of viewers? And of course, if people have thousands of viewers, they're going to try and make money out of it by probably put some adverts up. You might have noticed in some YouTubes when you're looking at them, there's adverts right beside the box where we just have information. They've got adverts. And so anybody clicks on those, they get the money. But wait a minute. If I just click on it, I'll give them a bit of money. That option isn't there. I thought, well, why not? Did you not think that I would like to? Of course I would. The trouble is, for example, I watched a video by Eckhart Tolle, and it was put up by somebody else. All right, but there's Eckhart Tolle going blah, blah, blah. So if I give money, who am I giving money to? I'm kind of liking Eckhart Tolle, so I thought, oh yes, here's some money. Who effectively are you giving money to? And that's probably why you can't do this financially. Because, if I like some kind of piece of music, some kind of video song thing, and I pay money, you would have thought that it would go through to the artist and not through somebody who's just put it up free on YouTube. To be honest, yeah, so there's bound to be problems. However, there's something about it. If it isn't actually copied off anybody else and it's your own stuff, then why can't people just pay you? So could there be a kind of like a certain, I'm just making this up, a certain type of channel where it's being checked and you are producing your own stuff, so it qualifies you to have one of these potential, PayPal buttons, and if somebody clicks on it back, you get it. And then people will obviously know when some professional thing is put up there, obviously some bullet just sticking up there is not, doesn't deserve the money, obviously, so they won't pay any money in, obviously. So I don't really know. And for Eckhart Tolle, for example, the guy who put it up there, if I put money into this guy I'm sure would send money to Eckhart Tolle or whatever it is, because obviously the guy is speaking good things, and the guy who put it up there is also a good person, so whatever. Right. It's just to encourage a bit of trust games and playing around with the money a little bit more. Right. However, that's part, so I eventually found this thing. I found the partners thing. I don't have thousands, so I decided I'll use that page, and there is a little bit in it which said, if you've got, why do you want to be a partner? I don't have thousands of people, but I was thinking, this idea of just going walking, all right, being homeless, and actually going around the world without money. It's a nice idea. I'm going to call it 2020 World Walk, okay? And the idea is that I try and get as far as I can without money. Because obviously I'm going to get hungry. I might not be able to make it out of the country. I'll probably get as far as Dover and, you know, I'll be like famished. I'll be like, I can't survive this. I've got to bloody have some money. I've got to bloody eat. Well, I've got to somehow or other generate means by which I can get food from people. Okay. That might mean short term getting a little bit of money from people, but the point is just to pay for food. So, well, what can you offer? And you're not really offering anything. So, kind of, I'm offering something or other. It's an interesting idea, and I've mentioned it to a couple of people, like today at Tango, and they were like, "Oh yeah, that sounds kind of good. Oh, good luck." And they're like, "It's just an idea for them," but to actually go out into the world and try to go around the world or something or other without money, that's an experience and a half. It's quite a challenge. And part of that, obviously, is recording stuff. Because obviously, if you meet a stranger and you say, right, I'm doing this thing, blah, 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 they're going to be like, yo, what? And it might be useful if they have a computer or something nearby, or you can possibly persuade them to say, well, have a check of this out. And it'll be like on YouTube, and it will be the various experiences that I've had with people already, walking around and talking to people. And I've got some quite interesting ideas, but I'm trying to be of service to people. That's kind of the objective. You know, being a teacher, and I think that's just being of service to people. Happen to be quite young people. Yeah. So I was thinking maybe getting an iPhone or something silly, just some kind of camera device thing that also I can sort of like beam stuff into a computer somewhere onto YouTube. So all I effectively need is an iPhone or something like that. But it has to be something which is international, so I can go around the world quite easily without charging me huge amounts of money, unless somebody kind of sponsored it. And I thought with that, you see, people might put in a little bit of money. I bet there are other services, if it's on YouTube, that do this. Yes, I bet. Okay, I suppose I should look. Yeah, but the problem is, you probably have to, you know, put your financial details in. People won't do that. They'll just, you want something as easy as YouTube, and people just look at it, being, oh, and then they just press a button and pay a little bit of money. They don't have to set anything extra up and everything. It's just, you know, it should be nice and easy. Anyway, so that's kind of what I'm thinking. It's kind of mad. Okay, it's quite insane actually, and how interesting is it going to be for people? Well, some people said, "Oh yeah, I'd like to see it." You think, okay. So part of it is other people, my friends and family, probably having a look. But actually, it's mostly for the new people, so that they go, oh, okay, then there is something going on here, which kind of validates it. It kind of encourages them to have a bit more of a trust game going on. And since I'm doing something which is to do with trust games and trying to connect more and more people, then this might be quite interesting to people. It's kind of like, you know, those stage dives where these kind of like people dive onto the people that are watching. Well, it's kind of like that in real life without being famous. So you're bound to get dropped. But I've been dropped so much. I don't think I'd mind too much. How far would I go? How hungry would I get? To the point of being really wet and miserable and cold and homeless, maybe even losing myself, kind of losing my mind and just getting really depressed and God knows what. And then getting into an accident of some kind or other, and then horrible thoughts, and then getting to mental states that you just can't get out of, and just being really poor and just being lost and just wandering about because people are treating you like crap, and you just end up in this really broken state. Well, could happen. That's the idea. So there is a bit of a challenge to it, I suppose. And what would be the objective of it? Well, it's not a real kind of objective, kind of. I would like to propose, 2020 world peace, obviously, somewhere in there. If I can bring, awareness to it on an individual basis, one-to-one. I can only imagine, though, you see, the idea is I would go up to people and say, right, do you want a challenge? And it would be like, what quality of challenge, what kind of number from 0 to 10, or 1 to 10, if you accepted having a challenge. Something to do with how much money you're willing to play with. The third thing would be kind of what area of their experience they want to play around in for me to challenge them. Chakras probably would be good enough. Give me some kind of ballpark. And then I do it. Give them a challenge and see what happens. And if they want a 10, then I think that would be 2020 World Peace. It was 10 in a kind of insightful kind of way, conceptually, socially kind of way maybe. That would be definitely 2020 World Peace, I'd give them that. But probably wouldn't mention it, I suppose, to people. And then if they're interested, look at videos and so on and so forth. They might look at other videos and then they may get to get the idea if they're interested. Anyway, cool.